Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Librarian in California. My name's Jeff, and today I'm going to be doing the reading tag. I picked this up from Dwayne at Flipping Pages. Check out his channel if you like him, especially if you like fantasy. But I'm going to be looking down at my questions here. There are 10 of them, so let's begin. Question number 1, what is your favorite genre? Well, this one might not be as obvious on my channel because of my occupation. I have to read a lot of things that aren't necessarily what I'd like to read. But if I could choose, and sometimes I can and sometimes I can't, I would definitely, dystopian is number 1 for me, science fiction, history, historical fiction, like those are the top 4 for me. But if you've paid attention to any of my videos, sometimes they're all over the place, and that's because I'm a librarian. And so sometimes I'm reading for work and for different events at work and different book clubs and activities, so you might wonder, like, why is this guy all over the place? And that's occupational hazard. But if I was picking and I could just choose to read what I wanted to, it would be dystopian for sure, science fiction, history, and historical fiction. Question number 2, what is the most difficult genre for you to read? You know, I don't know that there is one for me. There are some I don't like. For example, I don't like horror, not a huge fan of thriller. So those are a little more difficult for me to read just because they don't really interest me. But I don't know, I've been forced to read so many different things since library school and beyond that I can basically read anything. It's just that I don't necessarily enjoy to read those things. So what is your preferred age range? I don't really have one. I mean, I do, you know, adult, YA, but you know, I read a ton of kids books too. I've got 9 nieces and nephews. I got a lot of friends with kids and I'm constantly giving out books, you know, as gifts or, you know, looking for something for a collection for a specific, you know, patron. And so I'm all over the place, but primarily adult and YA. So question number 4, are you character driven or plot driven as a reader? Hands down plot driven. I mean, I like a good character, but that doesn't really matter to me. The plot is what really matters for me personally, you know. I want to be immersed in this story and see where it's going and see the story arc in that. And yeah, the characters, like, there are terrible characters that I end up liking because the story's great, or there's great characters that are just like, because, you know, the plot wasn't there. But for me, it's definitely plot driven. So question number 5, do you have a preferred perspective? And then I'm going to tag this with question number 6 too, is do you have a preferred tense? And the answer to both of them is no. I don't really care, where I know some people absolutely don't want to read in first person, or they want to read in past tense, or I don't really care. That's just not something that's ever bothered me or that I've had a preference on, as long as it fits with the story. Sometimes it doesn't, and you're wondering, like, why is it in this, you know, tense or something? That bugs me, but personally, I don't really care. So question number 7, do you like series or standalone book sets? I would have to say I like standalone book sets better. Not that I won't read series. I mean, I love series, you know, the Hunger Games trilogy, or now there's a prequel to it, or, you know, Divergent, or, you know, I do love series, but just because of time, I don't often get to enjoy the series as much and really dive into it. So for me, I like standalone books just because, like, I can feel like I finished it, I accomplished something, and I'm able to walk away and not worry about, like, oh, I got 5 more books, 7 more books. So that's just a personal preference that I prefer a standalone book. So question number 8, which would you rather, long or short books? This one's a little difficult. I'm gonna say in between, actually. Sometimes, you know, I like short books that you can get through them and you read them and you feel like you accomplish something quickly. But sometimes if there just could be more, but I really, I guess I don't like long books now that I think of it, because I just had a video where I ranted about this third part of a book needed to be cut by like at least 100 pages. It was just too long and drawn out. So there you go. I guess I answered my own question. Is I prefer short to middle length books. I don't want these long behemoth books. I feel like they need a good editor just to chop them down. That's my preference. So question number 9, which format do you like best? I I feel like as a librarian, people have these assumptions. And so I don't know, we'll see what you think. But so personally, I don't read ebooks. I don't have an ebook reader. I don't have a Kindle. I don't have a, I just don't read ebooks. Sometimes that's the only format we have. Say if it's a book I'm looking up for in the library and I need to reference something, then I'm just going to the section I need or the page I need or something like that. So I will look at it that way. But I spend too much time on the computer as an academic librarian. So when I read, and don't get me wrong, I read all day long, emails and stuff for work. But like outside of that, if I'm reading for pleasure, no way. I do not want to see it electronically. I don't want to see that device. I do not want to do it electronically. So I hate ebooks. If I wasn't on a computer all day, maybe I'd have a different preference, but that's just not the case. I do love audiobooks. I used to listen to a lot more audiobooks. I had a longer commute. My job also required me to drive all over the state I lived in. So I would easily, be driving for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours in a day. So I could churn out so many more ebooks, which I can't do right now just because I'm working from home. So I end up listening to a lot more music on YouTube. I just don't feel like I can listen to an ebook while I'm working because I just can't focus on work and an ebook, especially if I'm like working on book stuff for work. Like it just doesn't happen. Like I just mix it all up. So I guess my preferred preference right now is just books in print. I will say I do enjoy hardback. That is definitely probably my preference over a softback. I just like the feel and heaviness and weight to it. But I'm also reading zines right now, so like they're super light in that. So, but yeah, anyways, if it was my preference, it would definitely be a print book in hardback. So, and question number 10, what are you currently reading? Well, I'm going to show you two things because I literally just finished one book. I just finished this for work. It's called Black Faces and White Spaces. Reimagining the relationship of African Americans to the great outdoors. Carolyn Finney is the author of that, so I just literally finished that book. And then I'm currently reading The Prince Zine by Joshua James Amberson and illustrated by Rachel Lee Karaman. So this is on the musician Prince, so it's going to be a quick read, although it's fairly dense topic-wise, but it's like 60 pages, so I'm about halfway through it already. So two completely different books that have nothing to do with each other and completely different formats and different genres and mass produced by an academic press and a small press independent zine. So like I said, if you watch my channel, understand it's all over the place. Again, occupational hazard. So I don't mean to confuse people with my channel, but if you're interested, like some librarians, like we read stuff that is not necessarily our preferred preference. And that's just, again, it happens. But so I hope you aren't frustrated with that when you watch my channel, because it is very eclectic with what I read, whether it's for work or I'm leading a book club for somebody on campus or 3 book clubs on campus during lockdown here. So I'm reading stuff that other people have chosen. And so that's okay. Again, I'm happy to help people out. I'm happy to help lead discussions and do different things, but you might get confused on like what I actually like to read. So dystopian is what I would be reading if I could just read that and history, but it's not always the case. So anyways, those are the 10 questions. Again, I got that from Flippin' Pages over there by Dwayne. If you haven't checked him out, check him out. He's got a cool channel. He's really into fantasy and Brandon Sanderson. If you're a fan of Brandon Sanderson, you should definitely check out his channel. So, and this original tag was done by, it was created by Sophia's Thoughts, and I'll put that description in the link below. But that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing and liking this video, and I'll see you next time.